When the Inyo supervisors sat down to talk about the Department of Water and Power's proposed groundwater pumping plan this runoff year, Supervisor Rick Pucci, clearly disturbed, brought up the privately discussed issue of the Bishop and Lone Pine golf courses, pushed, rumors say, by DWP to pay for their water. He pointed also to the Bishop's Saddle Club and a water problem. Pucci said, quote, DWP needs to be more cooperative, end quote. A statement most think unlikely to make DWP shake in its shoes. As he and 3 other board members face the DWP pumping plan, Supervisor Pucci said, quote, the golf courses are the entrances to our communities. They are in every brochure DWP puts out. The Chamber of Commerce uses them. Pucci said he has received calls from entities, presumably the golf course, which he said report that they will have to close down if DWP pushes its water charges. Golf course officials admit DWP said they may look at charging for water in the current negotiations for new leases. Water for both golf courses has always been included in their leases. The golf courses have lost members in the past few years and maintain marginal finances. And we will have comments from DWP Aqueduct Manager Jim Yanata on later broadcasts on this critical issue. Well, with all that in mind, supervisors heard from former Inyo Water Department plant expert and current Big Pine Tribal Environmental Director Sally Manning. She said DWP is ignoring the water tables and vegetation goals. Manning said DWP has systematically cut connections in valley water uses. She said DWP has replaced stream water for valley uses with pumped water. Manning said the pumping is happening faster than the valley is recharging. She said the Owens Valley has, quote, not recovered from the heavy DWP pumping of the mid-80s. The current discussions also do not consider the heavy pumping in the 70s. Manning said ranching and other areas are eroding before our eyes. It's time to listen to the people, she told the supervisors. I'm calling on the county's leadership. Rancher Darris Moxley said DWP has cut half of her water, but told her she still has to irrigate all 99 acres. She pointed to a DWP letter which also says they will cut 20% of the irrigation in Laws and Independence and 10% elsewhere. Supervisor Jeff Griffith said, where will it be unacceptable for the water table to go down? Some of those drops predicted in the pumping plan are alarming, he said. Plants will not recover. Griffith said he has concerns about the former drought recovery policy that DWP unilaterally ended. He pointed to the need for a recovered and stable water table. Griffith said, where's the point when we say don't pump anymore? Water Director Bob Harrington said dispute resolution is always on the table every year. Griffiths pushed for and got the county to go for a much lower pumping rate in the heavily impacted Big Pine well fields. Supervisor Linda Arcularius had Supervisor Pucci's comments about needing cooperation on things like water for golf courses were, quote, extremely important. She supported language in the county's letter to DWP on the pumping plan that points to cooperation and mutual concerns for the community. In the official response to DWP's pumping plans, Water Director Harrington recommended a range that is somewhat lower than DWP wants to pump, and it's for 6 months, April through September. So there still will be some talk about this with the technical group and then the standing committee of Inyo and LA. That's on May the 20th. And Inyo supervisors will talk more about these requests for irrigation cuts before that May 20th meeting. There's a lot of detail up in the air and a lot of concerns. Meanwhile, in Mammoth Lakes, Main Street in Mammoth, to more than a few, it's not too attractive and remains pedestrian unfriendly. Over the years, officials and citizens have come up with plans to improve Main Street, but nothing much has ever happened. The town of Mammoth now has the start of another plan, and a draft implementation plan will come out in September. The Main Street project was placed on last week's Planning and Economic Development Commission agenda in Mammoth, but continued since some commissioners were not there. Associate Planner Jessica Morris explained where the project stands now. She said a couple of weeks ago the town held a series of workshops, 3 days of public meetings, and meetings with business owners and other stakeholders. Consultants from Boulder, Colorado are also at work on the plan. Morris said they will crunch numbers and come up with a draft. The focus area for this project is between the Gateway Monument at the entrance to town and up Main Street to Manzanita. Concepts include removal of frontage roads and transformation of that space into a more walkable area with bike lanes, sidewalks, and on-street parking. Another idea is to transfer some of that property to business owners for redevelopment. Morris said that property and business owners are concerned now, however, about the giant snow berms that form on Main Street so that visitors can't see their businesses. Morris added that there has also been a lot of positive response to the idea of a better Main Street, but there are concerns about how to pay for it. Morris said the town has a financial analyst looking into this, some of the options, maintenance or improvement districts or other assessment districts. Short term, Morris said snow management on Main Street is the priority. Reconfiguration of the street, she said, will take time. And she said not every property owner wants to participate. The town is looking for grants, and Morris said they want to have a plan ready if they get money. Morris said Main Street is important. The success of Main Street will impact the whole town. So we'll keep you updated on that as planners prepare that draft plan. Caltrans, by the way, had provided funds for this planning effort. And time to watch out on the highway for deers and bears, too. It's deer migration period, and the deer do cross Highway 395 and Highway 203 and can pose a real threat to themselves and motorists. Serious injuries can happen if you are going too fast and deer cross the highway. Sometimes it seems unavoidable, but officials urge going slow and really watching for the animals. Bears, too, are out of hibernation and very active. The public is, of course, cautioned against feeding bears. Not a good idea. It just brings bears into dangerous situations. And also, the wildlife specialist Steve Searles and others are, in addition to warning people about feeding bears, encouraging people to watch for the bears crossing our roadways. They too can be the victims of accidents. Mammoth's Public Works Director Ray Jarvis said that Caltrans has reposted deer migration and caution messages on its message boards at Crowley Lake and Bridgeport. And the Public Works will also station a message board at the Lower Chain-Up area on 203 with a similar deer migration message. We'll be right back with lots of crime news after this.